Hey there gamers, welcome back to the Board Game Co channel, and today we have a preview of Gamma Guild. Hey there gamers, it's Professor Meg here, and welcome back to the Board Game Co channel. Today we have a preview of a Gamma Guild by Juegorama. Now, this is part of the Microrama collection. You can check out the game found link down below for everything that they have planned. This is a sponsored preview, and this is also a demo copy in front of me, so rules, components, things like that are subject to change. Now, in Gamma Guild, you are going to be playing as a solo player, trying to play through 12 different quests across 12 different days. So in that, you're going to have 12 different rounds as your time clock for you to play through with your different guild members, play them to different quests to try to meet these different objectives. Now, that may sound very ambiguous, but basically what's going to happen is there is a deck of 24 quests. 12 of them are going to be placed out that you have to complete every single one to be able to beat the game, and then the other 12 are going to become your day track for how many days you have left to do so. So I am going to walk you through exactly what a few rounds are going to look like, but basically either you're going to win or you're not. You're going to try to make it through these different quests. You only have so much time to do so, but if you are able to do so, then you'll win the game. So here you can see those 12 quests that I was talking about, and these are going to be the ones that we are trying to complete. Now here we have our quest deck, which is the remaining 12 quests, and we're going to discard one at the start of each round to show the 12 different days passing on. So any of these quests could have been played in here, and as you'll see, some of them, depending on where they're played, will have certain strengths. So with that, it's always going to change depending on the quests that are laid out in front of you. Now, after that, you're going to have your guild perk mission, which I'll get to much later in the game, but then after that, you are going to have your guild, and that's going to be where all of your guild cards reside. As you can see here, we do start one with a perk visible, but normally you're going to be playing your guild members for both their strength as well as their lead type. So you can see that this is storing their strength of 1, but they also represent the blue type. But when you're able to claim them as perks, which I'll get to in a moment with how you're able to do so, you're able to play them for this instead. So this is going to allow us to nullify a single quest trait and remove the lead type requirement. Now what that's going to mean is that each of these quest cards here, you can see that 3 of them have a lead type, meaning that when you do win these different quests, regardless of meeting the different conditions, you also need to lead with that type. So for example, this one here, Portal Problems, where it's blue, I would need to have the 9 total strength with the majority being blue. So I could have 3 blue cards and 1 other card, perhaps red or green, or a combination, but either way, the blue would have to be the majority. So this is something that would allow me to not only nullify that lead type requirement, but also the quest trait as well. So for example, this one here is you may not send guild members on adjacent quests. So currently we would not be able to send any guild members to this quest until completing this one here. Now this quest is add +2 to this quest level for each quest above it, meaning that this quest is not a 9 strength, it's actually a 13 strength, because there's +2 and +2 here above it. Now, the Gnome Gamble, you don't need a lead type, but you must complete this quest with a 4-card straight using the guild members levels, example 1, 2, 3, 4, or 0, 1, 2, 3. Now finally here is Hydra Havoc, which is on completion, send 1 guild member from this quest to the perk mission. So the perk mission, you're going to be able to send up to 3 guild members, and when a 3rd one is placed, you're able to take those 3 and keep one of them for their perk, which is going to be that bottom part. So you're going to know which members you are sending over to this area, and you are able to complete that multiple times. So for example, if you're going into a round and you already have 2 over there, you could play 1, perhaps gain some abilities, draw more cards, play 3 more there, and then do that again. So where this is used, you're more than likely playing your different guild members to the different quests. So now that you know a lot more about what the board is going to look like, I'm going to have us start walking through some turns, because it's going to take you building up some of those guild members to be able to start completing your quests. Now you are going to start gaining certain perks, and every now and then in these quest cards are also going to help you as well. So we're going to use what we're able to start completing some of these quests and see how much closer we're able to get to completing them all within 12 days. So starting off, we are going to discard a quest card to start off our time track here, so we can see that we are in currently the first day. And then we are going to draw our 4 guild cards. So here we're going to draw our guild members, and remember that when we want to use this Elder Magi Skull Relic, we are able to do so. Now here you can see the different value types. So we have a 4, a 3, a 3, and a 1, and then as well as the lead types for these different guild cards. So you are always drawing 4 on your turn and then assigning them. Now this is, you may not send guild members on adjacent quests, so we aren't currently able to send anyone here. We could send cards here, which may be a good reason for us to send some of these, because we do have a 4, a 3, and a 1. Now, we may choose to, based on that, send our 3 over here, because that is working toward blue. And then we can send all 3 of these over here, hoping for a 2 next round, because then we're going to be able to complete this quest as well. Now after that, we'll move on to the next turn because we don't have too much going on quite yet. So we will discard a quest card and then draw 4 more guild cards. So here we do have at least 1, 2, which is what we were hoping for. So we're going to play this 2 to over here, and then we're able to complete this quest. Now when you complete a quest, you're going to exhaust any of the guild members that were sent to it, meaning that you are discarding them until this is reshuffled, and then we are going to complete this quest, removing it from the board. Now, as you noticed at the beginning, we had these quests available, meaning that this one is now going to flip over and we're going to be able to complete this quest as well. Now, this one is going to be add +3 to this quest's level for each other intelligence quest currently active. So this one is an 8 level, but there is 1 other intelligence, meaning that it's actually an 11, but hopefully we're able to take this one out before that really affects us. Now, with our remaining cards, we have a 4, a 1, and a 1, and this works out really well for us because with the 9, we have 3, 7, 8, 9, and we're able to play them to this quest, but as you noticed, we're able to have 2 blue as well as a green and a red, meaning that we do have majority for this lead suit, so we are able to complete this quest as well. So we'll discard these members as well to the exhaust, and then we're going to remove this quest, and then be able to unlock this one, which is, on completion, exhaust all guild members currently on the perk mission. Now, that would mean discard, so if you did have any guild members here at the perk mission, when you do complete this, you would have to discard them. But knowing that ahead of time, you would either plan to complete this quest or resolve your perk missions before one of those would hurt the other one. So as you can see, this is how you'll start unveiling certain quest cards. And an example of where I would perhaps use our perks would be this card here, where I would use this to nullify this card over here, so that it wasn't +2 for everything above it. It would just be a 9 without a lead color. In Gamma Guild, each time you play, you're going to be managing those different quests that come out, because certain ones that come out can really play off of each other and become a very strong combination. So not only are you trying to work with your different guild members that come out, but you're also trying to just analyze which quests are easiest to tackle first, because some of them are going to make certain ones less strong. So I am going to go over some guild examples for things that you might try to look out for, but another thing on top of that is that you're going to want to make sure you're trying to gain those perks when you want to do so, because you do have your different guild members and some of them are worth 3 or 4 strength, so they're really good to send out on these different quests, but some of them are also going to be really good for you to turn into their perk ability as well, and that's going to be a major part of trying to balance your way through, because trying to get through these 12 different quests in the 12 different ways, 12 different days, is very doable, but it's going to take a lot of figuring out exactly which quests you're dealing with and how you might be able to approach that situation. So taking a look at some of the quests here, for example, this one is, you may not send members on this quest until another quest is resolved first. So you're not able to even assign members to this quest until you resolve another quest, which can be very tricky, especially if it's resolved toward the end, because you're only going to have so many quests available left. So this is one that's really going to depend on the other quests that you have available. Now, another one that's going to really change change things is going to be one like this, which is rescue mission, which is x equals 13 minus the number of days left. So at first it's going to be 13 minus 11 because you'll have 11 days left, meaning that it's only a 2 to be able to beat. Now you do still need that green lead, but it's going to get harder and harder to do as the game progresses, meaning that again, if it's unveiled toward the end of your quest, it's going to be very difficult to be able to do so. Now the opposite of that is going to be the rabid rat swarm, which is also equally difficult to try to take out. So this one is just a base power of 5, but it's going to have 1 extra for each other quest out. So if you start off with this in the bottom row, it can be very, very powerful, and that might force you to try to get certain columns emptied out and try to get rid of their quests before you even start attempting the column that this one is in. So that's really going to base how you play your game, because you may have 2 quests above this one available to you that you still need to try to knock out while you've already taken out the ones on the other sides. So for example here, if you had this, you might have taken out all of these quests, and then your rabid rat swarm is only worth 8 for you to be able to beat at, but after that you're still going to have to be able to take out these remaining quests. Now, as I said, there are certain perks that you're going to want to use as well. So for you to gain a perk, again, you send 3 of your different members up to the guild perks mission, and then you're going to be able to take those 3, choose one of them to become a perk, and then exhaust the rest, which is discarding them. Now, whenever you need to draw again from the guild member deck, you just shuffle and draw again, so you don't need to worry too much about discarding the others, and this is a great way for you to gain perks. Now, not all perks are built equally. Some people do literally nothing. That's true, Lanny here does nothing, but some of them are going to do things that are really beneficial for you. So here you can see when he becomes a perk, he's nothing. Something that could be great to use him for is for that straight example where you wanted 4 cards in a row to be able to beat it. But here are some that are very strong, where we have this again, lower a quest's required level by 3. So that can make it a lot easier to finish a quest, especially toward the end of the game. There's Ponderous Herb, which is at the start of a turn, pull 7 guild members and exhaust 2, keeping 5, meaning draw 7, discard 2, keep 5. So you're going to have a lot of agency there as well, choosing what colors you may need or perhaps strength level. And then here is pull any guild member of your choice from the exhaust pile to your current hand. So where you may need a specific number, but you also need it to be a specific lead type, that could be very, very strong for you to be able to get a card that you need from your exhaust pile instead. Gamma Guild is going to be an engaging solo game where you're trying to complete these different quests, and you're working with a specific time clock. So you know that you only have so many turns that you're able to do so, and needing that lead type for the different quests can be very important, but the most important thing is going to be seeing how those different quests affect each other, because there are the 12 that you have on the board, but there's also the 12 that you're using just as your time clock, meaning that you have 24 different quests that you're able to play with whenever you shuffle through and replay the game. So it's really, really going to change depending on where you have those different cards out. For example, that rat catcher, if you draw him toward the end, he is pretty weak, but if you have him toward the beginning, he's very strong. And the same thing with the escape one, where you want to try to draw it early on, and drawing it later, it's going to be even harder for you to be able to beat. But you're also going to have your perks that you're hopefully building toward, which is going to have you have some areas of mitigation, especially as you get toward the end of the game, because you're going to start knowing what you need to plan for. So trying to complete each of those different columns to have 4 quests almost always visible for you is going to be the most advantageous way, as opposed to completing columns one by one. So I did find that this was very puzzly and very rewarding going through that day-by-day system, that the AI itself is run very, very smoothly, and the diversity with the different quest cards is really going to surprise you, especially as how they come out with the different combinations that they're able to make. This has been a preview of Gamma Guild. You can check out the game file link down below for everything that Hugorama has planned. This is part of the Microrama collection. I've been Professor Meg. Thank you all for watching the Board Game Code channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye!